I think many people would agree and say, yes, there was racism. Yes, there was systemic racism, but with the Civil Rights Movement, with the Voter Registration Act, that's over now. There isn't, and there isn't any of that anymore, is there? How would you answer that?
Hmm, that's very interesting. No, it hasn't. Everybody thought that when Barack Obama was elected in 2008, that we were in a post-racial now context, uh, but we've already been shown that is not the case. And a lot of some of the fervor that has been happening with people like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, and find that those are not just isolated incidents. That still racism marches its way in terms of that it just evolves, it morphs, but it doesn't stop people from uh, continuing to exercise domestic terrorism, and even in terms of law enforcement. It's not to say that law enforcement is not bad, but it's also to say that we all have different encounters with law enforcement, and there are historical reasons for that. And when you look at what's happening in terms of, there's been lots of data that has shown that uh, I am more likely, I feel more unsafe with law enforcement than probably say that you do, Joel, simply because it's from a standpoint of I have to think about all the reasons of why I gotta stay alive. And very often, a lot of our white brothers and sisters never have to think about that because we live in totally two different worlds. And for a lot of our Christian Reformed people, they live in a bubble. And sometimes when you live in a bubble, you don't see those other worlds that are also operating at the same time. And so I think we have to take that into consideration. How are we evaluating our own insularity, our own isolation that has probably, kept us safe, but at the same time, it's kept us away from seeing those other worlds.
I think that right there is for me was a pretty vivid picture you just painted of like being pulled over by a police officer. I have never once even thought or imagined that he would even pull his weapon on me.
Right.
Never even crossed my mind, right? And I know I think there'd be a lot of Christians, a lot of white people who would say um, uh, that you shouldn't have to fear that. But the reality of the matter is, you do, and
Right.
and you're not the only African American who feels that way or says that way. And so your experience and your feelings of this are very real, um,
Right.
and valid because of that.